Hey guys, welcome back to Proper Lauda, and welcome back to Café Enchanté. We are on a mission to save this child. I think we're saving the child. Rindo could be trying to kill the child, I have no idea. But I think we should save the child because they're, clearly suffering, so let's get into it. The next day. With the information I unfortunately had to go to Mikado for, I quickly dove into action. Protection of friendly non-humans. If the GPM truly believes that is one of its purposes, there's only one thing I can do. Under a rainy sky, pouring down like running tears. Alright. Ignis! What's he, a dog? It was a pretty sudden request. I guess I can't blame Ignis for complaining. Honestly, I would have rather spoken with Kana since this is a medio matter. I needed a fill-in for Kanas, so here we are. Ignis was good enough, especially if I needed him as a support for a fight. We continue walking in search for the boy. I already contacted Kotone and told her about who Kariya Abe really was and the danger he was facing. I'm sure we can save the details about the changelings later once we regroup with Kanas. We're gonna find him in a freezer or something. With that, we arrive at the spot about 30 minutes away from Enchanté. We arrived at the warehouse of an abandoned factory. There were stains of rust all over it, holes filled the walls and the roof. They were useless against the rain that was falling now. It was a pretty wide building and didn't feel cramped in the slightest. But thinking about a young kid spending time out here all alone, I can't say it was making me feel great. God, Rindo, please don't shoot the child. I slowly opened the rusty door. I deliberately make my footsteps heard. There was a small shadow of a figure standing in the back. I began to speak. Right. There was a boy gripping his chest. He seemed in pain and was breathing heavily.
何あんた
そんなに警戒しなくても僕は怪しいものじゃないよ。
どこがいきなり慣れ慣れしく話しかけてくるし、いい大人が平日なのにぶらついてるし、どっからどう見ても怪しい中年のおじさんなんだけど。
一理あるね。
I accepted what it looked like. It took a minute to stand there and just talk.
説明が難しいんだけど、僕はほんの少し君と話がしたいだけなんだよ。阿部刈谷君。
なんで俺の名前？
ほら、君先日妙なアンシャンテっていう喫茶店に寄っただろ？それさ、どうして立ち寄ったのか理由を教えてもらえないかな。答えづらいなら僕から言おうか。君は原因不明の体調不良で苦しんでた時、引き寄せられるように店に入った。それでちょっと体が楽になった。違うかな？
どうして？ 俺の体調のことまで。
A look of panic was colored clearly across the boy's face, still gazing right at it.
決まってる。君が体調不良で辛い思いをしてるのも、人と違うことで苦しむのも。
I made sure I didn't sugarcoat it because he had to see the truth.
君が人間じゃないからさ。
Oh god. Oh god. The temperature around us dropped suddenly. I could feel a cold air begin to envelop me. I knew it. He does understand he has this ability. So what he really is...
突然のことで理解できないかもしれない。でも聞いてほしい。君はただの人間じゃなくて、元来別の世界に生まれるはずだった妖精。その氷を司る力も、それが理由だ。
I really needed to calm him before he starts demonstrating his full power. So this kid's like Elsa.
大丈夫。僕は君の味方だ。それと、あの喫茶店のマスターも。一応専門の機関に所属しててね。君みたいな力を持つ者に対しては、それなりに詳しいんだ。心配しなくてもいいよ。妖精についても少しは研究も進んでる。だからきっと。
研究?
Before I realized it, it was too late. At the sound of that word, the boy began glaring as if I attacked him.
やだ。
However, his rejection was at a far greater level than I expected.
研究ってまた俺を監禁して調査するんだろ。珍獣みたいに、動物みたいに、みんなで囲んで笑い物にしながら。
Oh. Just with that, I put together what kind of past he had been through.
だからあんただって同じだろ。信用できる要素なんて一つもない。
きっと君はその体で辛い目にあったんだろうね。
Oh boy.
なら僕が信用できないのもわかる。でも僕も引けないんだよ。君が僕を信じられないとしても、僕は君みたいな子を何が何でも保護しなきゃいけない。
は？保護？捕獲じゃなくて。
いや、保護で合ってるよ。君がその力で誰かを傷つける前に守りたいんだ。何より君自身をね。
されるつもりはないって言ったら。
I don't think he's coming peacefully. I figured it might come to this.
僕は僕の仕事をするまでさ。君こそ僕相手にどうするんだい。その力を使ってみる。
そうだね。どんだけ悪どいやつもこの力で大体退けてきた。大人ってのはさ、痛い目を見なきゃ自分がどんだけのことをしてんのかわかんないんだよ。
かもね。案外大人の方が子供より物の善悪がわからないのかもしれない。
Rindo, you're gonna get stabbed with an icicle.
だったらもう俺のことは放っておいてくれよ。
Oh shit. The warehouse was filled with water from the pouring rain. I jumped right before my feet would be frozen in the small bodies of water. However,
参ったな。ほっといたら死んじゃうから声をかけたんだけどね。
the reason why he's become so aggressive must be because he realizes his life is draining away.
というか、寒い。もうちょい着込んでくるべきだった。
Rindo, why are you taking this not seriously? I tried to run as the ice froze the warehouse. Then... Oh god! Small projects of ice were flying towards me, but I managed to cut them down with a knife.
派手にやるね。子供は後先考えないから怖いな。
But if a stranger came by talking about research and protection, I guess I'd expect a pretty intense response. So, what do I do now? My mind was racing as I dodged his attacks.
やだやだやだ。捕まったらまたあんなことになる。
Oh.
俺はやっと あったかい家族を手に入れたのに。
Oh god! With his scream, the stacked wooden boxes crumbled, unable to handle the sudden change in temperature. The boy, probably losing his mind now, began screaming as if his life depended on it. Ignis! Help! Changelings. This was not something born of the mischief of fairies. It was found in folklore. It was when fairy and human blood mixed, causing the chance for an ancestral relapse, giving fairy traits to a descendant. Karya Abe is one of those beings. Unfortunately for him, his powers came shortly after he was born, and he was proven to be a non-human by those closest to him, even his biological parents. What happened next was a classic tragedy. Afraid of Karya, even though he was kin, they left him in solitude. He was completely neglected by his own parents. It seemed like there was no decent people in his life. He searched for help, but was persecuted and deceived instead. He ended up being sold into the darkest pits of society. There, he could have died at any moment. And there, his grandmother realized what happened. She came to save him from his living hell. Shortly after, though, she passed away. His relatives, that couple I'd gone to before coming here, were the ones who adopted and took Karya in. Even though they knew of his powers, they showed no fear nor pity to him. It was an honest love. It was pure. That's why.
それを奪われるなんて絶対に嫌だ。
Oh god. Yes, even if he died. Oh god. All of a sudden, it was hard to breathe.
やばい。
The tiny amounts of water in the air must have begun to freeze. And not only that, I could feel his gaze on me. He must have been staring to see when I'd stopped moving. I felt like the very blood in my body was beginning to freeze. I really didn't think he was this strong. I dropped to my knees, and right as I began to lose consciousness,
せえな、ビキビキバキバキやかましい。なんかあったら呼べっつったろが。
Yes, Ignis! Beautiful, my boy! Like a comet, the demon beast of fire comes crashing down with a roar. He was adorned with fire, and the flames melted the ice all around the warehouse. Karya's body flinches at the suddenly rising temperature within the warehouse.
Nice timing.
Rindo! Duh. Ice's natural enemy is fire. It's a fact even a child would know. As soon as I caught my breath, I ran to him. I catch Karya's frail body as it begins to fall forward.
とりあえず一件落着かな。彼も目立った外傷はないし。でもイグニス、君の炎はこの子に負担が大きいみたいだ。悪いけど抑えてくれると助かるよ。
見りゃわかる。つうか、俺の炎とか関係なく、そいつかなりやべえんじゃねえか。
ああ、思ってたより数倍ね。一刻の猶予もない。これはもう本人の同意なんて取ってる場合じゃないね。
What are you gonna do? Just toss him in? Like... My fingers, shivering from the cold, began to dial a number. It was Kotone's.
もしもし、琴音ちゃん。例の少年ひとまず保護したよ。それと、カヌスは戻ってるかな。あ、それなら話は早い。カヌスに伝えておいて、妖精界メディオへすぐにゲートをつなげられるようにってね。
Oh, he really is gonna fucking toss him in. Oh, God.
陛下、間違いないようです。
Okay, so Vania's name changed to Veneer, I guess. That's interesting.
なるほどな。
must have been about an hour since that child was brought to Enchanté. Mr. Rindo and I were led by Canis. Mizir brought the boy soon after into the fairy world Medio. Because Ignis's flames were bad for the boy's body, he stared at Enchanté with Eel. Normally, I wouldn't have found a reason to come here, but after seeing him, after seeing his painful expression, I couldn't just sit and wait at the cafe.
久しぶりじゃのことね。それとリンドウもか。こんな形とは思わんかったが、また会えて嬉しいぞ。の、ベニーヤ。
いいえ、ちっとも全くこれっぽっちも。
I think it's supposed to be Venia, but they spell it out because that's how it sounds in Japanese, but in English it's I don't know, whatever.
むしろまた厄介事を持ち込まれて大変迷惑です。呪われろ。
相変わらずだね。こっちの妖精さんの容赦のなさは。
With a chillingly painful expression, Venia glares at us with narrowed eyes.
で、例のカリア君とやらの状態は？
メディオを訪れたことにより、今のところは落ち着いておるが、また人間界に長く戻ったら、何が起こるかわからんの。
So this is a changeling. A replaced child. It's crazy. I can't believe that someone would not know that they have fairy blood in them, you know? But I read a bit about them in the books that Grandpa left behind. A concept rooted in changing one's ancestry. Mr. Rindo and Canis explained the concept to me, but it didn't register. I mean, he just looks like an ordinary boy. And he's had such a terrible past.
仕方のないことでしょう。人間という種族は排他的。認識の合わぬ相手には攻撃的だ。
Yeah, that's true.
これ、口が過ぎるぞ、ベンニーヤ。今はそれよりこの子のことじゃ。人間界で生きられぬ以上、本来の故郷である、この妖精界メディオに引き取るべきじゃろう。
しかし、納得するだろうか。異常を自覚しつつも、自分を人間だと考える者が。
できるわけない。
Oh, he's awake! I turn around and Karya was sitting up from the pedestal, a pained look on his face.
なんなんだよ、今の話。妖精とか異世界とか、バカじゃないの。その姿といい、あんたら揃って頭おかしいんじゃない？
I assume he heard everything we were just talking about. With suspicious eyes, he glared towards Titania and the others.
突然の話だ。信じられるのも無理はない。だが、現に証拠は揃っている。
この世界に訪れて、体調が安定したのが何よりの証拠じゃ。カヌスの予想に基づき調べたが、やはり、そなたは氷の妖精の類のようじゃの。それも、その身にはかなりの力を有しておる。
そんなの
おとぎ話でも君、ここにいる中年相手に全力で力を使ってたみたいだし、否定するのは無理があるんじゃない？
Oh, I love Mizir's honesty.
少々厳しい物言いになるが、我から率直に告げよう、少年。お前は、このまま人間界へ長居すれば死ぬ。
わしも、幼い妖精が、このまま悲しく命絶えるのを見届けるのは心苦しい。じゃから少年、悪いことは言わん。このまま妖精界に住まうとよい。それが、そなたのためじゃ。
Karya could do nothing more but remain silent. expression looked pained. Unable to watch anymore, I spoke up. Well, I don't think we should push him to make a decision right away. This is a lot for him to take in at once, and given his particular situation, we have to give him some time to think. Mr. Rindo agrees with me by giving a single but affirming nod.
そうだね。ご両親のこともある。こうしてメディオの空気を吸って少しは体も安定したみたいだし、一度様子見しよう。構わないね、カリア君。
God. Karia, would you like to have some iced coffee?
いらない。
We returned to Enchanté, and although we were introduced ourselves again at a deeper level, his desire to speak shriveled into nothing. After seeing the other non-human customers, he finally acknowledged the other worlds. That's where he seemed to be at. Although, I'm not sure he's been able to accept the fact that he's also one of them. Mr. Rindo, the one who brought him in, turns to face him.
さて、カリア君。君はこれからどうするつもりだい？このままアンシャンテにしばらく厄介になるっていう手もあるけど。
After a sigh,
もし自分について情報が少しでも欲しいなら、ひとまず GPM 本部に来てみない？
he gently proposes an idea.
GPM。
Karia had already been giving a rough idea of what the GPM was. Why take him to the GPM, Mr. Rindo?
異世界のこと、妖精のこと、人外と呼ばれる存在のこと、今後どんな道を選ぶにしても彼にはとにかく情報が足りていない。ファンタスティックな世界に直接訪れていろいろ聞くっていう手もあるけど、彼はこの現代日本で育ってきたんだ。根拠のある証拠やデータを見せた方が分かりやすいかと思ってね。
After Mr. Rindo gave his reasoning, he then speaks to Karia.
GPM には君みたいなケースも前例が多少なりともあるからね。何かの参考にはなると思う。どうかな？
Without arguing, Karia nods. Mr. Rindo then looks towards me.
ひとまず彼のことは任せて。大丈夫。悪いようにはしないから。
Alright, I'll let Mizir and the others know. God, it's a miracle Rindo didn't fucking die. He was like, oh, whatever. Like, my blood's freezing inside of my body. The next morning, it was about noon when all the regular members except Mr. Rindo had gathered together.
なるほど、そういう事情でしたか。結界を抜けられたのも納得です。あれは基本的に人間用。
で、カリアっつったか。そいつはこれからどうするって？
I don't know. I'm sure he's in shock from having all these truths shoved at him all at once. I haven't gotten a call back from Mr. Rindo yet either. After I gave my explanation, the one who gave me the difficult truth, with their shoulders slumped while doing so, was Kamas.
残念だが、あの少年が決断するのを待てる時間はそれほどない。GPM にもいつまでいられるか。油断すればすぐにでも命が危うくなるかもしれん。
No, he's still just in middle school. But it was true. He was clearly in pain as he walked away from Enchanté as he left. Considering that, there aren't many options for him to consider.
つまり結局のところ、妖精界へ行くしかないのでは？なぜ迷う必要があるのでしょう？
んな簡単に決められんなら、あのガキもうだうだ言わねえだろ。
だね。今までの人生を全部捨てて新しい人生を歩めってことだし、それって本人的にはさ、死んだのと変わらないと思うよ。
It sounds like his parents now are really good people too. I'm certain he wouldn't want to separate from them. After Mizir explains himself, sipping a cold coffee, Eel nods, understanding the situation. But in the end, maybe this isn't something we should be butting into. As I muttered my thought, the sound of my ringtone resonated through the cafe. I took my phone out of my pocket. Yes, hello? This is Awaki.
ああ、琴音ちゃん。リンドだけど、今は大丈夫かな？
Mr. Rindo, is something the matter?
ああ、カリア君のことさ、報告をしておこうと思って。親御さんとも連絡してね。検査入院って扱いで GPM にもう一泊泊まってもらうことになったよ。
Hearing his voice over the phone, everyone got up from their seat and gathered around, wondering if something had happened. Oh, wait, Mr. Rindo. Everyone's here right now. Let me put you on speakerphone. 5 minutes later. So, he didn't accept it then?
一応、出せる証拠やデータは全部見せてあげたんだけどね。
I like how they put his, the reverb on for speakerphone.
信じないというよりは、信じたくないみたいな、ヒステリック状態というのが近いかな。そこで、琴音ちゃんに物は相談なんだけど、ちょっと GPM 本部に来て、彼と話をしてもらえないかな。
Everyone else was also surprised at the unexpected proposal. Huh? Me?
そう。いろいろと考えてはみたんだけど、人外に関わり、それを受け入れている一般人。そういう事例の生きた証人である君に、簡単なカウンセリングをしてもらえないかなって。もちろん、無理にとは言わないけど、どうだろう。
Yeah, I'll do whatever I can. Jesus Christ, it's his life. I understand. I'm not sure if I can help, but I'll do whatever I can.
ありがとう。助かるよ。それと、実を言うとこの年頃の少年への対応の仕方がわからなくてね。年は取りたくないもんだよ。
人外どうのこうのって前にガキの扱いなんてわかんねえな。
メリオの小さな妖精ともまた違う性質であるだろうしな。
聞けば同じ個体でも成長とともに人格や精神が変化するとか、なんとも複雑なのですね、人間は。
Well, it's not like he's a total child like you guys seem to be saying. Aside from Ignis, Takanis and Eel, who have been alive for so long, Karya and myself must have seemed like total children.
じゃあ今 SNS の方で地図と住所を送るから、カヌスとあとは適当な人員で来てくれるかな。
Got it. By the way, how far is headquarters from here? If it's in some far away or secluded area, getting there today might be difficult.
ああ、割と近いから大丈夫。新宿にあるよ。
Oh, that is really close, and right in the middle of the city. Wasn't the GPM supposed to be an organization secret for most regular people? And we're gonna stop here to the sounds of train rides. Oh my god. At least we saved him, well, at least we bought him a little bit more time before he, died. But I hope that Kotone can talk to him and be like, you idiot, you need to go and save your life first. And you can come visit at any point. I don't know. I feel like it's a really easy decision maybe for me. Because I'd be like, if I'm dying and I feel miserable here all the time, like if I'm literally sick to my stomach, then why not go to the other world, recover for a little bit, come by and visit? Because clearly he can visit. He's at GPM right now. Just go visit every once in a while. It's just like moving to college or moving to I don't know. I guess if you're really attached to your family, and I guess for a 14-year-old it's kind of rough, but whatever. Next episode, we're gonna talk to Karya and hopefully get him to make the smart choice about his life.